You. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Um, I know it's early, but we are up and we are ready. My name is Mariah. We're going to be doing this is part 2 of makeup with me. And so we're going to go ahead and get all of our tools and all of the things that we may have bought on Monday or the things that we already have ready so that we can do some makeup. Good morning, Miss Teresa. Good morning, Miss Marie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I know that on Monday we did a poll of on a scale of 1 to 5. What is your how comfortable are you with makeup? Let's think of another scale. On a scale of 1 to 3, how ready are we today? 1 being like, nah, I want to go back to bed. 3 being like, let's go. On a scale of, you can put that in the chat, or if you're on Facebook, you can put that in the comments. On a scale of 1 to 3, how ready are we for today? 1 being like, nah, I want to go back to bed, but I need to learn some things. And 3 being, let's go, stop talking, let's get this done. Once again, my name is Mariah. We're going to do a quick, I call it quick because 30 minutes for me doing makeup is a little quick. We're going to do a quick-ish 30-minute everyday makeup routine. So this will be something that I do when I'm getting ready to go to work, and when I'm getting ready to go to work, because kids are interesting. I teach first grade, and so if I come in with a regular face, they're like, "Oh, Miss Robinson, what's going on with that?" So I've learned to adapt my routine so I don't have to have glittery eyelids, but I do have to have something on. So yeah, let me see. Everything is blocking my time. Cool beans, we will be starting momentarily. But once again, if you're in the chat, how comfortable are you with makeup on a scale of 1 to 3? I mean, not comfortable. How ready are you? 1 being, now I want to go back to bed. 3 being, let's go. We had Miss Tiffany at a 2, right in the middle. I understand. Mr. Adam at a 3, let's go. I'm for it. I think Miss Teresa, I was supposed to get back with you, correct? On eyeliner, on an eyelash serum, correct? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or write me in the chat. I believe that was you. And if that is you, then I have that for you. I did a little bit of that research to make sure that I can get you the information that I said that I was going to get you. So we're on a run. Okay. I understand. I understand. Once again, my name is Mariah, and we are going to do a quick-ish 30-minute everyday makeup routine, neutral face, neutral eye, and maybe a pop-in lip, because you can't be neutral everywhere. But you can. We're just going to do a pop-in lip today. So, are we ready? Let's get this party started.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I know that we're a little bit tired, but let's wake up. Once again, my name is Mariah Robinson. I am in Maryland. I know a lot of us are in New York, and I love it. I'm gonna visit again one day, but we're in Maryland today. So let's just take a DC deep breath. So I am Mariah. I used to work at Sephora, so I'm a makeup artist. I'm sanitizing my hands because it's very clear. I washed my hands right before we came in here, but I've touched a few things. So I want to make sure that before I touch my face, my hands are fully sanitized. I am a first grade teacher here in Maryland, but I also love makeup. And so I learned how to do it. And so now I'm here to teach you. So let's go ahead and begin so we can have our full time. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put on all of our primers. So on Monday, we may have purchased the, here it is, the Too Faced primer. This is the Primed in Peach. So we're going to put on all of our primers. We don't need a lot. Remember that a primer is basically like the glue. You can't put two pieces of paper together and expect them to stick. And you can't do that with primer either. So we're going to put just a dot, not a lot. I say that's not a lot, but it's not a lot of primer. Mix that together and we're going to press it into our skin to make sure that we're getting our whole face. A lot of times we'll forget our upper lip area. Press it into our nose. Make sure we get this jawline so that when we do put our makeup on, we want it to be a seamless blend versus like our face is one color, our neck is another color, and our chest is another color. We want us all to be, in a sense, monochromatic. Okay, so this is pretty much the one time that I am going to touch my face for the most part. I like to make sure that I'm using brushes, clean brushes that I didn't clean today. Make sure that we clean our brushes at least once a month, depending on how much makeup we put on, but at least once a month. And the best way for a very clean and smooth and flawless makeup application is to make sure that we are washing our face. The best canvas is a clean canvas and it is your skin. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna put on our NYX eyeliner. It's eyeshadow base primer. I have a concealer brush. Once again, it's the same thing, just a dot, not a lot. We're gonna go ahead and I like to once again press that in to make sure that we are getting every single kind of nook and cranny. We might go over a little further here, but that's okay because we're gonna cover that up with concealer or foundation, but it's gonna blend. So this is that same kind of primer. Eyeshadow primer is a little different only because your eyelid creates a lot of natural oils. So when you use the eyeshadow primer, your eyeshadow or your eye makeup will last a little bit longer. This one does have a tint to it because mine is in the skin tone. They also have, and this is by NYX as well, they have this eyeshadow primer, which, excuse the label not being there, but clear, I use it. It is also a clear, it comes off clear, but I want to give a little bit of pigment to my shadow because I am doing a nude one. So I really want it to stand out against on my skin. So once again, we're pressing that in. I like to go through and make sure that it gives me a good brow, because we're not going to put concealer there today because we're doing a quick makeup look versus, a long one. Blend that right on out. So we are done with our primers. And I put my brush right back into my container. So I personally start with my eyes and my eyebrows. I start that way because when you have eyeshadow, it can have fallout. And if it falls out and you've already put your foundation on, then you have to either wipe it off and redo your foundation, and you don't want that to be streaky. So I always start with this area first, and then I work my way and continue. So today we're going to reuse the NYX micro brow pencil. Mine is in espresso color. Yep, my color is in espresso. You don't want your eyebrows to be too dark because then it looks unnatural, because we're going for a natural mini beat. So the first thing that we're going to do, is we're going to brush our eyebrows kind of up and on both ends. So you have one end that has the pencil and the other end has the spoolie. So you can brush your eyebrows. So we're going to brush them up, and then we're going to shape them in the way that we want them to be shaped. So for me, it's pretty much my natural shape. And we're going to do that on both brows. Now, when we do this, we are not going to color in. Instead, we're going to do small brush light. And mind you, I'm going to put the top on the end. I'm holding this towards the end. The more you hold it here like a pencil, the more pressure you're going to apply. And then it's going to be darker and not natural. So we hold it at the end with a very loose kind of grip. Good morning, Miss Wendy. So the first thing that I applied was my primer over my whole face, and then I applied my eyeshadow primer. And then right now we're doing a liner. Thank you. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go in once again with the loose grip, and I'm going to move my camera up so that you can actually see where I am on the pencil. And we're going to do small hair-like strokes. And we're also going to build it up instead of going in and kind of coloring. Very small hair-like strokes, because these are not, like the hairs on your head. So they're not long and, I won't say drawn out. My eyebrow, for the most part, is kind of one color. So it doesn't, like mine don't really have that lighter and then go into the darker. And so in the front, where there are very light hairs, I'll go in and just do a few small strokes so that I can continue with the shape that it already has. And we're going in once again with those small hair-like strokes. Go under. And there we have a brow. One thing that I did learn at working at Sephora is that your brows, we want them to be twins. But sometimes twins have very subtle differences, right? Because we don't want them to be distant cousins, because then you have two different brows on your face. So we're going to go through and try to make them as even as possible, but they may not be. Even identical twins have subtle differences. My dad is an identical twin. And when I was younger, fun story, while we do our brows, we were at a family reunion and I thought I was with my dad. And I was like, oh, can I go to the store with you? And the answer was just like, mm-hmm. So I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, why are we in Uncle Michael's car. He didn't answer me because I thought now it's like, oh, that's a dumb question because I'm your Uncle Michael. But in that moment, it wasn't stupid. It was a very good question. Needless to say, my actual parents, my actual father, was freaking out because they had no clue where I was because I thought I was with my dad. Yeah. So, and I'm his actual child. I live with him. That's my dad. But now that I look at them as I'm older and can see, they're different, and that's okay. So we want them to be like Mitchell and Michael. They look alike. They're like, you know, they not distant cousins. And there we have. We're done a good brown. So we could put that away. I hope you enjoyed story time with Mariah. So we are done with our brow. So now we're going to go ahead and start on our eye. I'm going to be using the Nubian by Julia. I'm an expert at distant eyebrows. I was too. One eyebrow would be super dark, and then one eyebrow would have like this pointed arch and then go down, and it was a struggle. And one thing is, if you do, quick tip, if you do make them one just a little bit darker, use your spoolie and you can brush that product out and in a little bit, and it'll lighten it up just a tinge. So onto eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the Nubian by Julia. And so when we start this, we're going to start with a neutral color. So I mix these two together and put that on my entire eyelid. Once I find the brush that I would like to use. So with this one, I'm using a sort of fluffy flat brush. It gives me what I need. So we're gonna pack it in instead of brushing it on because we want this powder to have a good payoff. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pack this right on in. And that just means tapping it in versus brushing it. So I brushed it at the top. My light is kind of bright. Maybe you can see it when I'm a little further back, that this part has way more pigment payoff than this part at the top. Now I'm going to turn my light down just a little bit so that we can ensure that we're getting, there we go. Good, you can see exactly what I'm doing. So once again, we're going to do this over our entire lid, all the way up to the brow bone, which is that area right under your eyebrow. And mind you, I'm going all the way in, patting it all the way over. We're going a little past the eye, so my brush lands here so that you can see right there. And you see it's pretty neutral into the same color as my complexion. Right now I have a tan. I worked at a tennis camp this summer, and so I'm a little tanner than normal, but it still works. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other eye, packing that in to make sure that we get the best color payoff that we can get. And once again, we're holding this instead of holding it like a pencil, and instead of holding it close, we're holding this at the end to make sure, one, our eye is very sensitive, that skin around our eye. That's why that's where, you know, the wrinkles happen, unfortunately. So we want to make sure that we're being very soft and delicate with our, okay, thank you. With our eye, I apologize. So there we have, both eyes are, for the most part, I think there's a little area up here that I missed on this end. We have, our eyes have our natural base. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab a fluffy. This is like a crease brush. Well, it is a crease brush. We're gonna grab a fluffy crease brush and we are going to lightly, this is the one that I want. Same thing, I just have a preference for this morning. And we are going to use a darker brown. I'm gonna use, where is it? I'm gonna use this one. And we're gonna put that inside of our crease. I swirl just to the top and then I tap off any excess so that it's not really, really dark. When you do this, we're gonna start at the outside of our crease because wherever you start, it's gonna have the most pigment. So we're gonna start at the outside and we're gonna buff in very small circles. Very small circles. And we're giving this just a little bit. We don't want it to be too dark because once again, we're going for a natural eye, not necessarily a dramatic eye. If you want it to be more dramatic, then you can go ahead and, darken it up. But today we're going to go for a natural quick look. So can you see that difference of that very subtle darker color and it's a gradient versus just your blank canvas? And it just gives a little bit and it gives a little more definition to your eye and ultimately to your face. So we're going to do that exact same thing to the other eye. Just a dot, not a lot, tap the excess off. And we're not grinding the brush into our lid. We're just very small, slowly. You're making small circles while also going in a windshield wiper motion. That's what I'm doing. Small circles. Then if I still see it needs to be blended a little further up, then I'll go ahead and do my windshield wiper. But for the most part, we're doing small circles on and a windshield wiper motion at the same time. Now, for our eye, we can be done, and that can be the end. Or if we want just a pop, when I say a pop, just a small pop of color, we can, this is just probably a concealer brush. We're gonna get just one of these colors. I'll probably get I'm just gonna get this color right here. And we're gonna tap it, that's a lot. And we're really just gonna do a quick tap right in the middle of our eye. Right? And then we're gonna go back with that, not this brush. We'll go back with the brush that we used for our original color and blend that out a little bit. And so now your focus when someone looks at you is going to be right in the middle of your eye. And it's not too much shimmer or color. So you have a pop of color now with a very neutral eye. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do eyeliner. I like to line only the bottom of my eyes because when I line both the top and the bottom, it closes off my eye. And so because I don't have like large eyes, and that is, I like to draw attention there. So I like to just do the bottom and then my lashes aren't too long. And so then I'll put I'll put mascara on my top lid, on my top lashes. And then my eyes look a whole lot brighter than if I do both the top and the bottom and then mascara. So we're gonna go through, this is my LA Girl Kohl liner. It's an automatic liner, so I can wind it up and wind it down, which is my favorite part. So I'm gonna go through, and this is the other time that I touch my face, is we're gonna pull this down just a little bit, like we're not gonna automatically drag it down, but just enough so that we can see our waterline and fill it in. The first time you do this, it is a very weird feeling, but you get used to it. Yeah, so we're just gonna put a little bit of pressure and pull that down and draw in the water line. And that is that lash line above your lashes instead of below, so that it looks like it's just a part of your eye. And the last thing, I'm not going to put my mascara on now. I always wait to the very end to put mascara on. And that's only because I'm used to it. It just continues to look. So with what I just used, it was the LA Girl Kohl Liner in black. So now we're gonna go ahead and get started on our face. I've already put our primer on, so we're good there. Remember that we're not gonna get an entire foundation look. We're really just gonna do a quick, a quick concealer look. So I use 2 concealers. I use Juvia's Place and I use the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. In Juvia's Place, I'm a 13, and in NYX, I'm Golden Honey. So I mix those 2 together on my face, and then with a beauty blender that should be damp and generally is damp, I will put that on. So when I say just a dot, not a lot, we'll put 3 dots here, 3 dots, and I also put a little down my nose. And then the same thing with the other primer. This one has a little more yellow. I'll put those in the middle and the outside. And then it's just a thing. Taking my beauty blender, and I'm gonna tap that in. Tapping to press it in. I'm not beating my face, but we're just gonna tap that in very softly and tap it until we get to our cheekbone, and tap it up and so we can blend that out. For me, it goes, I'm putting this into a C, or greater than less than sign. And we're going to do that on both sides, all the way in. Sometimes I like to flip my beauty blender because the first side has product on it already. And so it's blended easily, which you can see a little bit. And so then I don't want that excess product that the sponge has absorbed to go onto my second side on the other half of my face. And so I'll flip it to make sure that I'm only getting the amount of product that I initially planned for my face to have. So it's even on both sides. And down the nose. Part of the reason that I've been doing these mini looks is I just got my nose pierced. And so I try not to put as many products on that so that it doesn't get affected. So Miss Tiffany has a great question. Do you recommend buying 2 concealers? No. Well, I buy 2 concealers because I'm in between those 2 colors. So one of those colors is too light and the other one is too orange. But when I mix them together, they're perfect. When I use, because they're just a tinge lighter than me, so it brightens up my face. I also use a NARS concealer, which is my perfect match. And so when I use my NARS concealer, I don't have to use anything else. But with the look that I'm doing, I want my under eye to be just a tinge brighter. It gives me more an awake, alert, alive, enthusiastic face. So that's why I use 2 concealers. But if you can find one concealer that can either be your perfect match or a one shade or half shade lighter than you, then I would go for that. But because I have an olive undertone, but it's also a little bit golden, it's really hard for me to find exactly what I need. I hope that answers your question. So the next thing is we're gonna put on our Stay Matte foundation because we're not gonna use a setting powder. I'm gonna get my big old fluffy brush, swirl and tap, and we're just gonna buff that into the rest of our skin. All over our face. Onto our jawline to make sure that we're all one color and not two-toned. Whenever I use anything with powder, I do go through and I make sure when I use it, I swirl and tap up any excess. Make sure we're getting in here where we put that primer to make sure that that's not showing through, which we blended that out with our brush and our eyeshadow. I make sure that I get it into my hairline so that you can't see exactly where I stopped putting on makeup. So we have our concealer, we have our foundation. Touch of blush. And when I say a touch, I mean a touch. Because you want to look a little flushed, like a little cheeky, and not like you're overheating. So I like to put it right. So if this is my pupils here, I put it right past the apple of my eye. Because when I smile and it's focused there, that's where you're looking versus just a natural kind of where you would naturally blush. So I know that when I am nervous or am a little bit cheeky, this is where you'll see me like get a little pink, a little red, right in this area. I do put like just a tinge on the apple of my eye, but I'm concentrating on that right past it. Touching just, and this blush is from Ulta too. It's Ulta, it's called Flush Blush, Natural Finish in Retro Rose. So this is what it looks like. Once again, right past the apple of our cheek. Maybe just a tinge on it. Because I also find that when you smile, you're manipulating your face. So when you keep a straight face, you know exactly where this product is going to be, and it's going to enhance when you smile or when you scowl. Both of those things will happen. So just a little bit of blush. I have a yellow undertone. What shade primer is best? Primer is generally a neutral. So if you have, unless you want to get, if it's in the overly red, then you would get a primer that has a hint of green in it, because that will combat that red. But you can usually cover that up with your foundation, so unless it's really shining through like an abundance of red. But generally primer is a very, where's my primer? My primer is white, so it doesn't have any sort of tone to it. So we finished with our blush, and now we're gonna go to our highlighter. So my highlighter is from Juvia's Place, and I'm using the shade Nefertiti. It's a loose pigment, so I like to make sure that I set this down, because I had one time where I did not have it set down and there was highlighter everywhere. So this is that color. If you can see, it's a very golden color. I'm going to take my fan brush. I'm going to take my fan brush, and I'm going to put it, because I don't need a lot, because this is a loose pigment and it has a lot of payoff, which that might be too much. We're going to go through and we're going to tap right above where we put our blush on our jawline. I mean, not our jawline, on our brow, not brow bone, cheekbone, right on our cheekbone. You see that? That's not much, and you can see exactly how I put it on. I like to tap it in, especially because I did put a little bit too much on. So I'm gonna tap it in to make sure that it's in the place that I want it to be versus it where it kind of falls. So I'm making it fall exactly where I want it. I put a tinge down my nose, just the bridge of my nose, anywhere where the sun is going to hit, right under my brow. And so after, if I, for example, because I did add a bit of highlighter and it didn't blend for me perfectly, I have just a little brush that is probably also a concealer brush. Yep, it is a concealer brush. I'll just kind of go right back over that and make sure that I blend it out. So it's not a straight line. It's a blended, seamless look. You can't tell where the blush starts and stops, nor can you tell where the highlight starts and stops, because we want it to be a natural, like, oh, the sun is just shining on me, but where's the sun? That kind of look. So from there, we can put on a lip gloss and be done after we put on our mascara. This is Milk Mascara, Kush Mascara by Milk. It's sold in Sephora. We also have the Lancome Mascara. So when we put on mascara, we want to start at the base of our lash and wiggle up so that the entire lash gets the mascara on it. So starting at the base, wiggle up. And then we're gonna go over and do the top. So we're gonna go to the base on top of our lash and wiggle, and also curling it at the same time. Go back under, make sure that we coated these babies well. I put a touch under on my lower lashes so that they get a little bit of love. And that's a complete look. Same thing. Both sides, wiggling up. It's hard for me sometimes to do this on the other side, so I just switch hands. Because one slightly ambidextrous. So on other side, twist and turn, and then go right back to the upward. A little bit of love on the bottom. Last thing that we're gonna do is spray our face down with our setting spray. This is the Urban Decay the all-nighter. I spray X, it's a star, like an asterisk, to make sure that I get this whole thing. And it's gonna dry down for a minute. I think I do look a little wet. But once it dries down matte, and your face isn't gonna go anywhere. Like I said, from here, we can put on a neutral gloss, we can put on a neutral lip, or we can do, I'm probably just gonna do this red lip. And this is from Luxury M Cosmetics. You can find them on Instagram. Let me see. This is Miss Wendy. Good morning, Miss Wendy.
Good morning. I had one little question. When you apply the mascara on the top, doesn't it, won't it like smudge on your eyelid?
So when you apply it on the top, you're pressing down while you're doing it and curling up. So you might get a tinge on the eyelid, but depending on how you do your, your lashes is going to cover it up, because I think I got a tinge on my eyelid, but it covered right up. But this eye doesn't have any.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of making sure that you bring the lash down a little bit while you do it and then pull it up.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. So when I do, and this is a matte red, at the top, I'll do the bottom regularly, but at the top, I'll make an X on my Cupid's bow, and then I'll fill the rest in. And from here, I'm off to work. We're done. And that's our look for today. You can go through if you want, you can line it, you can put a gloss on top of it. I like this red because it's just the way that it is. And so I don't line this one, but you most definitely can. My light just went off. It's okay, you can still see me, but we're done. So do you have any questions? I see Miss Teresa Scott. You have your hand raised.
What I find, I love matte lipstick, but what I find is that it makes my lips dry sometimes. So what can I put on it? I usually just put on sometimes like chapstick or something under it, or maybe a lip gloss over it, because sometimes it just makes my lips really dry.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much I pay for it, it still makes my lips dry.
Because literally matte is gonna suck the oil out your face. Out your lip for the most part. So what I like to do is I do put on, before I started this whole thing, a part of my makeup routine is lip care. And so I have a lip scrub that I do every other day. And then I have there's a lip scrub. And then I put on, so Fenty has a lip scrub, which I use every other day. And then there's also, I put on it's not a chapstick, but it is a lip moisturizer. And that's also by Fenty. It's a lip balm. So that's a part of my skincare routine, so that even though my lips, because it dries my lips out as well. When I go to take my makeup off at the end of the day, I'll do the same thing, especially if I'm wearing a matte lip, to make sure that there's no dry skin left behind. But yeah, it's gonna do that no matter what kind of, no matter which lip you use. That's just the nature of matte.
The other thing that I saw is that you put the eye primer on. It looked fine it looked fine to me with the eye primer. So it's like, can I just wear the eye primer by itself, or you have to put on eyeshadow too? Because I like the way the eye primer looked.
Because it is a base.
Okay.
I would not. It might have looked okay here, but if you saw in person, you might want to just put on you should just put on a neutral eyeshadow, even if it's one the exact same color as the eyeshadow as the eye base, but you're going to want to put something on top of that.
Thank you.
No problem. The lip bar has a very great matte lip that doesn't make your lip dry. I have a few of those as well. So this is Crown Me, the lip bar. You can find it online, and you can also find it at Target. Tiger stripes on your face. Yes, so the lip bar does, but I find that all matte lips, just me personally, and maybe it's just my lip, will kind of dry your lip out, just because it wants to make sure that there is no shine. So that's kind of the nature of the beast. But the lip bar is also really great. It doesn't overly dry your lips out, but you will still have that kind of drying feeling because it's matte. Let me see. Kaisha said, I like the Maybelline Falsies mascara. It gives my lashes a lift. That's dope. I've not used that one yet, but I will add it to my list. A lot of the things that we use today, you can find at Ulta, CVS, Walgreens. Yeah, you can find at like your local Walmart, Target, those kind of stores, just to make sure that we can give everybody was able to do this. I wanted to make sure that I gave something that we can all do, from the beginners to people who are like experts. But this was just a quick, we're off to work now. Are there any, let me see. I think that was Miss Wendy. Can I see your face? Love to lip up.
Hold on.
Okay, it was. I'm so sorry, Miss Wendy. I have what I told you that I would find, and it is called Grande Lash. It's a lash enhancing serum.
Okay, grand. I'm screenshotting. Oh,
I'll type it to you in the chat.
yes, please. Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
So that will help for me. That's what I found. Has helped me to, that helped my friend. I just put the Sephora link for you, Miss Wendy. That has helped my friend to make sure that she was able, it helped her grow her lash. And then on Monday, we also had the question of the magnetic gel liner, and I forgot that I had some. So it's the Ardell magnetic gel liner in black. And it also comes with the little brush, but it's just a little bit of potted. It's a potted mass liner that you'll put on gel wise. So I wanted to make sure that I definitely got back to those two questions. Do I have, any more takers, questions, comments, concerns? I'm here.
You made me want to think about wearing more makeup now since seeing you today, because I was like, I don't think I want to do makeup, but just it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. Even if I don't use all the steps, I could use some of the steps. I'm not ready for eyeliner yet, but you do make me want to put on more makeup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the name of the magnetic? Sorry, what's the name of the magnetic? I didn't catch it.
It's the Ardell.
Ardell. Okay, I got it right. Thanks.
No, I'm happy about that, Miss. I think that was Miss Teresa. Was that you talking?
Yes, that was Teresa.
Me. That was me.
I thought I got it right. That makes me very happy. Like, I think a lot of times, and I think someone posted it on social media, we look at these super grand looks and they're these full makeup looks, but no, we can do a very simple, basic, everyday look with, if we not count the 2 concealers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 products, and still come out with a face that is acceptable for society. But at the end of the day, if it's acceptable for you, that's what I care about. And that's what you care about. We do this for us to make sure that we are happy with us, because what you think about me has nothing to do with me. That's your thoughts about me. How I feel about myself and what I think about me is what's most important. Like I said, on Monday, it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. And so if doing your makeup helps you to not stay there, let's get it done. I know that Miss Tiffany put in the chat ways that you can reach me, because I'm done. You can reach me on Facebook at Mariah Robinson, that's my name. And you can also reach me on Instagram, and that's at forever time 4, the number 4, ever_timeless. If you message me or you add me and you have a question, I generally will get back to you as soon as possible. Right now, especially because I'm not in school, but starting on the 27th, it might be a little bit harder, but I will try to get back to you within the week. So yeah, join us tomorrow on Thursday, and we're gonna on a session by Miss Mika, is that correct? By Miss Mika Joseph. And she's going to talk about why we weaponize our thoughts and how to heal them. And in my mind, really what that is it's okay to not be okay, but let's not stay there. How can we heal them? So I'm gonna hand this off to Miss Tiffany.
Thank you so much, Mariah. Yes, weaponizing our own thoughts against ourselves. We can be so self-destructive sometimes. But it's a good thing we have Woo Nation here to help us not stay there, as you keep saying. So we want to welcome all new members, anyone who today is your first session. Please drop it in the chat. Let us know that you're here. We want to welcome you to the community where we choose to learn, elevate, and ascend. This is our schedule. We're live on Zoom and Facebook 5 days a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 8:30, and Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. If you would like notifications when it's time to go live with us, you can text the word Woo Nation to 74121. Have you ordered your Woo swag yet? Time to get your swag on. We have face masks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, the coffee tea mug, and now the Woo water bottle. I got mine. It's great, and I'm loving it. So make sure you shop us at bit.ly/Woo swag. Order your Woo swag today. Thank you, everyone. Here's how you stay in touch with us. You can register at bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. Follow us on Facebook at bit.ly/Woo Community, on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual, on YouTube at bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. And last but certainly not least, you can always email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. We're always looking for new facilitators, admins to help bring this powerful program to you every day. At this time, I ask everybody to come off of mute. It is time to rain love and abundance on Miss Mariah Robinson and her
Thank you.
beat. Thank you. It was
Helping
great.
us queens to look more queenly.
Yes. Again, now
Thank you so much, Mariah. Beautiful.
yes, now I know I don't have to look like a tiger in order to do my face.
Yeah, the little line under the eyebrow. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, my
Thank you.
Charmaine. I'm so glad to see you back in space. I miss you, Charmaine.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, becoming more and more comfortable with the process. Thank you.
Everyone. Love you all. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Sister
Susie.
Robinson.
Thank you.
Yeah.